Well, good morning. Welcome to my kitchen. It's going to be our first video here, so please bear with me if I'm not very good at this. We got some tunes kicking in the background. This is my home. Welcome. And we're going to make a little breakfast this morning. So, what we're going to do is we are going to kick it up a little bit here, guys. So, see down here, we got a number of ingredients here. This is what we call our mise en place, having everything in its place. And we're going to do a little preparation here, get some things ready to go, and then we're going to start cooking. So, as we've been beginning to talk about eggs and breakfast cookery, I can't stress to you enough the importance of knowing how to properly handle, respect, and cook eggs. Okay? We have here large brown eggs. Okay? And we're going to be serving those today. Scrambled style, sorry. And we got some nice ciabatta bread here, some prosciutto, some beautiful basil, beautiful, given that it's the month of April. Wonderful looking vine ripe tomato, very nice. Avocado, cream, butter, salt, pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. So we're going to begin with our mise en place. We'll start with this here tomato here. We're actually going to cut this into slices. Paring knife, small little knife that's used for a number of different tools, mostly handheld cutting. It's not often used, a paring knife down on a cutting board, okay? So we're going to begin. We're going to go down here, okay? And we're going to cut the core out of our tomato, okay? A little container over here to put our trim in. All right. See that we actually have all of our tools lined up that we need, okay? Sharpening steel or honing steel, we learned about last week, okay? Our all-purpose chef's knife or French knife, okay? This is an 8-inch knife, okay? We talked about the proper way to hold this. All right, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, boning knife, kind of utilitarian, and a peeler, even though we don't need it. I always like to have one in my station, okay? So, first we're going to start by just making sure our knife is honed properly. We learned that you hold your knife, thumb, index finger on the blade, with your remaining 3 fingers around the handle. Gives you a nice control. All right, some people even hold this finger up here if they feel like they have more control. Okay, steel in the opposing hand, and then downward strokes, about 18 to 20 degrees. Okay, so we're gonna bring a little geometry action into the kitchen here. All right, so 4 or 5 times on each side is plenty. You don't need any more than that. All right, so we're gonna take our tomato here. Just gonna cut the end off here. Actually gonna save that for later. I'm gonna make a little salsa for myself, and we're just gonna take 2 decent slices off of this tomato. So you can see that knife just glided right through that tomato, very smooth. That is a good indicator that it's been properly sharpened. Okay, put our tomato over here. We'll wrap that up later. Same thing with the trim piece. Okay, bread. I'm going to move this out of the way for a moment, and I'm going to set these down here with our prepped items. Okay, avocados, delicious. Can be used for a number of things. Just eat them right on their own. It's a great ingredient. Guacamole. This morning, we're just going to slice it and serve it with our eggs. Avocados can be one of the trickiest things to cut. Okay, so I can't stress to you enough the importance of having good hand-eye coordination. I'm going to pop back up here. And being super, super careful to not cut yourself. Okay, the flesh on the inside is a nice, beautiful green. And then there's this brown pit, okay? That's basically the avocado seed, all right? So we need to remove that and then remove the flesh from the skin in a very clean manner, okay? All right? I like to take and hold my avocado down on the board. Okay, actually, I'm going to use our French knife here. And I cut down until I hit the pit. I'm going to go around. Okay. And then you separate. Okay. You can see that's a really nice, beautiful avocado on the inside. Okay. Sometimes the pit will come right out, but I take the heel blade of my knife, just kind of stick it in there. You'll see it pops right up. Okay. Especially given the world circumstances, a lot of people are regenerating produce right now. That's kind of a home popular thing to do to help pass the time. But we could take and put this in water and a sprout would actually come out of it. You could start growing an avocado tree if you have the right climate. We do not. But today, we're going to go into our discard. Okay? So we only need half of our avocado, so I'm going to put the other half way over here. Actually going to go grab a spoon. Okay. And what you do is you scoop the flesh away from the skin. Kind of just go in close. When you're buying an avocado, guys, you want to get one that's firm, but not too firm. Otherwise, it needs to sit for a few days or weeks even to ripen up. But you want one that's going to release from its skin fairly easily. As you can see here, that one did exactly that. Spoon in the sink. Get rid of my skin. Actually, right there. All right. Wipe down our board real quick. We got paper towels over here. Clean as we go is very important. We don't want a big giant mess to handle later on. Okay. So now my avocado. Like we learned in that video last week, guys, the safety measures that we take when we're cutting is having our hand, our non-cutting hand, kind of down as a guide to also hold what we're cutting. But take your thumb and your pinky finger and curl it back. Your middle finger, you want to use it for good use, not to irritate your friends. Kind of hold that and use your knuckle as a guide, okay? And you want to make sure you're protecting your fingertips to prevent cutting them, okay? A cut fingertip is a bloodbath. There's a lot of capillaries and a lot of nerves in there. It hurts really, really bad, okay? So just nice thin slices. Now, if you're going to use the avocado right away, you can just slice it and use it. We're going to be using it very soon, so we don't need to do anything to it. But if you're trying to get ahead, or if you're preparing it in a manner like guacamole or a sauce, all right, avocados, unless it's treated with acid, will turn brown. That's called oxidization. Oxygen gets to it, and it causes its flesh to turn this really ugly brown color. All right, and it's not appetizing, it's not appealing, but when it's in its natural, beautiful green, it's a very, very pretty vegetable. And definitely want to highlight that you're using a beautiful fresh avocado. And we're certainly blessed in today's day and age that we have access to beautiful fresh avocados basically year-round. Okay, so back down here again. We are actually now going to get our eggs ready, and we're going to be scrambling these, okay? These are large eggs. Large eggs run about 2 ounces to 2 1/4 ounces a piece. All right, so we're talking 4 or 5 ounces of protein here in our breakfast, okay? Brown eggs, white eggs, really doesn't make a bit of a difference. Do not fall into a trap or a myth. Brown eggs are better. Really, it actually depends on what breed of chicken laid it. So we're going to crack these, and I'm going to show you the two-handed method and then the one-handed method. Okay, two-handed. Crack it on the edge. All right, you see where it is, and you open it up. Boom. You always want to do your best to avoid popping the yolk in the event that you're cooking a sunny side up or you're poaching the egg and you want to keep it intact. Now, one-handed method. Okay. This one's tricky. They say a mark of a natural cook or a chef is they're able to do this right away. Okay. I'm holding it between my thumb, my forefinger, and my middle finger, okay? And I'm going to take my middle finger, okay, and I'm going to grab the shell, and I'm going to basically spread my fingers apart like that, see? Like they're scissors, That pops right up. Okay. All right. Now, eggs for scrambled eggs. You can scramble them all on their own, but I like texturally to soften them up. I add a touch of heavy cream. Okay, so we have heavy whipping cream here. And you think about, I don't know, about a tablespoon or a teaspoon per egg, or however you like. If you like your eggs really soft, add more cream. If you like them more firm, put less. But I would definitely always suggest adding a little bit of cream or milk to your eggs. Okay? We're going to just take a fork, all right? And we are going to get these good and whisked up, okay? Making sure that we're really breaking up that egg, all right? As you saw, there was the yolk and then the white. The white actually has two sections. It's called the inner white and the outer white, all right? And you can see it when you crack it. I should have waited to show you, but I'll explain. All right, a really, really fresh egg has a large inner white. All right, that's the part that's a lot. All right, it's not as fluid, it's not as liquidy, it's more congealed and gelatiny. All right, and the inner white is a real indicator that your egg is fresh, but it's texturally different, and you really want to make sure that you're whisking it well to make sure that it's all broken up. Okay, can't see. Go back down here. All right, and we want to keep going because what we don't want is when we scramble our eggs and cook them is to see streaks of white. So this is going to take a minute. Make sure you do a good job. All right, change your fork pattern. All right, if you're doing a lot of eggs, okay, if you're looking up half dozen, a dozen for the whole fam, you want to bust out a mixing bowl. Okay, big mixing bowl and the whisk, and get after it. Okay. I'm seeing like one smooth color. When I pull my fork up like this, you see how the eggs are really kind of pouring off. They're smooth, and they're not all kind of clumpy and globular. All right. Again, those are ready to go. I'll leave that fork right in there. Okay. Actually gonna move that over here as I'm preparing. Butter to cook our eggs in. Set that down. Okay. Prosciutto. Italian ham. All right, it's not smoked like our ham is in here in the United States, or most of our ham. Okay, it's simply cured in salt and spices to get its flavor, and it's very, very, very salty. So a little goes a long way. This has already been pre-sliced. It's a nice convenience product, if you will. So I'm going to take 2 slices off. Set that down. Set that apart. Take this back in our packaging. If I like how this turns out, we'll have this again over the weekend. Our basil. Just going to pick off a couple of nice leaves. If the basil has a couple of brown spots on it, that doesn't mean that it's spoiled. It most likely is bruised. It's still going to taste great. There's a big difference between being spoiled and bruised. Okay, so I can tell you, they have a nice sweet smell to them, very floral and fragrant. This is good basil. I'm actually going to take these leaves, roll them up, okay, like that. I'm going to take my knife here again, and we're going to do what's called the chiffonade, or that's French. It actually translates to rags or tatters, okay? And using that gliding, rocking, sliding motion, I'm just going to very gently and thinly glide through this. So I have nice thin strips of basil. Nobody wants a big giant leaf at one time, but a little bit with each bite is a lot more desirable and more of a pleasure to eat. Grab a little cup to set this in. Okay. Okay, so we have our basil. Next, salt and pepper, because we got to season. Kosher salt always, or sea salt, pepper at home, I like to buy these little preloaded peppercorn grinders. All right, fantastic. Then we're going to grab our bread here, and we're going to cut a couple of pieces off because we're going to toast this up. Not too thick, but not too thin. All right, this is like our toast. Okay. Spread will keep for a couple of days if you're going to eat it all. If not, put it in the freezer. You know, cut half, leave half out, put the other half in the freezer. But I'll probably hammer that down over the course of the next couple of days. All right, so our bread. Okay. We are actually going to take, and we're going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on this. Okay, because you don't have to always cook everything at breakfast in butter. Okay. Oh, we got a situation over here. A little bit of salt. We want our food to taste good. Pepper. Okay. We're going to have that ready to go on our flat top. Okay. All right. So I had some tunes going. I'm actually going to welcome you back here. I'm going to flip the record over, and then we're going to jump over the stove and start cooking. All right, back at it over here. So again, sorry about the camera angles. Only have one new to this, but we're going to be as good at this as we can. The stove. All right, we got a little flat top grill action here in the center. This thing's pretty sweet. It's non-stick. Okay, we're going to get that on like medium high and get things going over there. Okay. Teflon pan for cooking our eggs. Non-stick surface is always the best. Okay. You actually require less fat to cook in, so you're not wearing more fat later like I do. Okay. Long before we had Teflon or non-stick, chefs and cooks used cast iron. Okay. So a little cast iron skillet. All right, this thing is very heavy, very heavy. And over a period of time, you develop what's called seasoning. You can see it's kind of shiny. All right, and that kind of begins to create a natural non-stick surface. This one isn't quite seasoned well enough to cook eggs in it. It's pretty old, and I probably could have done a better job caring for it over the years, but I cook a lot of meat in here. But we have the technology. We're going to use the technology in the non-stick, okay? All right. Before we start cooking, in class, I always stress, before you start cooking, you need to have a landing zone for what you're cooking. You don't want to be scrambling, pulling stuff off of the stove or out of the oven, and you don't know where it's going to go. So we have a plate ready. We'll set this down over here on our cutting board. This is actually my breakfast that I'm making. I haven't eaten yet today. I've only had coffee. I'm going to move our salt and pepper over here. A rubber spatula, great handy-dandy tool. We're going to use that to stir our eggs. Tweezers, we kind of use these like tongs. And actually, I have a spatula over here. This is actually what's called a fish spatula, and super lightweight, flexible. All right, and it's got the slots over here, so when you're flipping things, you're not splattering grease everywhere. All right, so the flat grill's starting to get warm over here, and we're going to toast our bread up on that. I'm going to grab our mise en place, okay, again, meaning everything in its place. We're just going to set this over here. I know you can't see too well that far out, but we're doing the best we can. Okay. I'm going to take these and just set them down. All right? Just like that. Okay? We're going to take our prosciutto as well. And we're going to fry that up a little bit. It's okay that this thing's not roaring hot, you know? My home equipment isn't as powerful as what we have at school. But, hey, if I can do it here at home like this, that means so can you. All right, just proving that we don't need our fancy equipment in school to make great food. I'm gonna wash my hands because we're gonna be keeping it clean, especially right now. Okay. Remember, hot water, 100 degrees. Okay, no messing around here. Get your hands wet. Couple pumps of soap inside of your hands, in between your fingers, the tops of your hands. Okay. Great thing is, guys, we learned how to properly wash our hands before Corona. All right. We learned this way back before everyone was breathing down our necks about washing our hands right. Okay. It's just good personal hygiene and sanitation. Okay. Dry them off. Paper towel action. If you can fight off people at Shaw's for them, all right? Or hopefully you stocked up. Okay. Also, too, we got the wipe action, just in case. Okay. So, you can see over here, maybe you can hear it, the prosciutto's starting to sizzle, okay? And the bread's starting to kind of do its thing. We're actually going to set our tomatoes down as well, okay? Get those kind of fried up a little bit, or at least warmed. We're going to salt and pepper those as well, because that's what we do. Season everything. Okay. The two things that we're not going to cook here is we're not going to cook the avocados, we're not going to cook the basil. They're just a finishing addition all on their own. Okay. So now's a good time we can actually start getting our pan warm for our eggs. Okay. Scrambled eggs. All right. Or eggs in general. We're going to do another lesson. We're going to talk about fried eggs. All right. Your sunny sides, your over easies, over mediums, over hards. Okay. They like a medium lower temperature. Scrambled eggs, you got to pump it up. Medium high. Okay. Scrambled eggs are best cooked quickly, in and out of the pan quick so they don't break and they don't get all like kind of watery and nasty looking and this kind of nasty curdled mess. But actually, we're going to think about that term curd because we're actually want to develop what we call egg curds. I'm going to flip this prosciutto over. It's starting to get crispy. Looking good. Hell yeah. Boom. All right. Let's do its thing. So we're going to move some of this stuff around. Move the bread over here a little closer to the hot spots. Move that back. Tomatoes here. Good. Roll it. Okay. We used to always say, hot food, hot pan. Okay, you don't want to put food in a cold pan. There's very, very few things that benefit from starting in a saute pan or a fry pan at a cold temperature. Very few things. Let's see here. Duck is one of them. Lamb is one of them. Anything that has a significant amount of fat you're trying to draw out of the protein, a lower temperature works good to draw that out. But in this instance, we want our pan to at very least be hot before we start cooking our eggs. Check these. These are not doing what I want them to do as quick as I'd like. We may need to toast these right over the direct flame. But anyways, we're going to get there. Okay, so I'm going to drop in a small knob of butter. Okay, it's about a tablespoon. Like we learned in class, I don't ever want to see anybody take a tablespoon measure and start digging out of the butter. That's crazy. That's nonsense. Okay? If it's the recipe quantifies for something by weight, you want to weigh it. If it's just a tablespoon, just kind of eyeball it. That's okay. It's insignificant if it's a fraction of an ounce off. And for here, we're just looking to flavor our eggs, enrich them, and to lubricate our pan. Okay? So we're just going to shake that around, let that butter melt. All right? Prosciutto's really starting to crisp up nice, looking good. Looking good. Tomatoes, ooh, they're searing now. You hear that sizzle. I love it. I love it. Okay, bread's starting to brown up a little bit. Okay. I got this stove back in November, and it was like life changing for me. I was like ripping up all kinds of awesome sandwiches on here, pancake action, French toast action. You know, it's been spoiled for the 25, 26 years I've been working in restaurant kitchens, where you have that big commercial flat top grill. Trying to do it at home on a pan just is not the same. And at least for me, my brain doesn't work that way. Okay. The tomatoes are going. Bread. Here, we're going to actually see if we can't get a little more like kind of almost kind of grill toast on these right over the flame. Another cool thing about these stoves like this are always gas. I prefer gas. I hate electric stoves. You can't control the heat nearly as well. That's why you'll see almost all commercial kitchens have gas stoves. All right, you don't see electric ones. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, now we're rolling. Got to make sure I don't set off my smoke alarm. That kind of happens a lot. All right, we don't want this butter to brown. Just melt. See that? See how it's melty? It's kind of foamy. We're ready to rip. Okay? Oh, look at those. Look at that fire grilled bread. Oh, I'm ready to fire. All right. So we're actually going to take our breads off. We don't want to burn those. Actually, here we'll kick them over the other side. Because once we get moving here on the eggs, we kind of can't take our eye off that ball, okay? Because they're going to get brown. And when it comes to cooking eggs, unless specifically requested, brown is burnt. I don't know a human being on earth who prefers their eggs to be cooked to oblivion. That's like a well-done filet mignon or a well-done ribeye steak. That's like being a culinary trader. Okay? We don't want these to be super hard, but yeah, those breads are ready to go. Shut that down, and now we can get going on our eggs here. All right, spatula again. Flip action. Get that heated fork. Okay, going in. Make sure you scrape it all in there. You pay for those eggs. Eggs, I can't believe how expensive they are right now. I swear they've gone up like 75 cents across the board. If you can even buy eggs at the store. I swear, like, Corona has made everybody think all of a sudden that they're a baker because you can't buy flour, you can't find eggs, you can't even find baking powder. I have to scour the North Country for these ingredients. All right, once the eggs are in, we're going to keep stirring, scraping down the sides, okay? And you'll see already these eggs have started to create what we call almost like a curd-like consistency, okay? And we're going to keep them moving, okay? Keep them moving. You're going to see these are going to be done here. 10 more seconds. Okay? A lot of people get freaked out the first time they have scrambled eggs made by me, but when they actually kind of accept and trust me that this is a good way to do it, all right, their life's kind of forever changed. All right, those eggs are done. We're going to plate it up. All right, so take our mise en place. Ready to go. Crispy prosciutto. Oh, sizzling. Sizzling. Take our spatula. Boom. Oh, look at those caramelized tomatoes. I love it. We eat like a king here. Okay. Got to get my mojo down here. I don't have a routine yet. Okay. We're going to come down on the plate. Boom. Okay. So, set our bread right down. Okay, boom. We'll set our prosciutto down. Okay. Tomato. Avocado. kind of do like a little fan action here on the other side. Boom. Get avocado on one half. Get the tomato action on the other half. You know, you can spread it all out, get the same with every bite, but maybe you want to change it up. It's like 2 breakfasts in one. Okay. Get that out of my face. Now we got these eggs. See how they're almost kind of like creamy. Okay, they're not like rubber bullets. Okay, we're just gonna set these down right on top. Nice and soft scrambled eggs. They're not cooked to death. Make sure we get them all out of there again. We paid for it. What are we gonna do? Wash it down the drain? Okay. Food is scarce. People are starving in the world. We get put that out of the way. Little black pepper here. Boom. Another touch of salt. Okay. I don't like to put salt in my eggs. I don't like to put salt in my eggs when I cook. It actually breaks them down and they get watery and gross. But just a little bit on top. Or what's that other dude do? Like this? Yeah, I think that guy's a moron. Okay. Take our fresh basil here. Right on top. Okay. Look at that. Booyah. And then just to kind of take it over the top, just a little bit of olive oil. Here we go. Scrambled eggs, quarantine style. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I want you guys to keep cooking. I want you to keep trying. All right. I can't wait to dig into this. Real quick, though, some pointers with eggs again. All right, brown is burnt. If you're scrambling, you make sure you whisk them up real good. You don't want white streaks in there. You don't want it to be like chopped omelets. All right. Nice and creamy. About a couple of teaspoons of cream or milk per egg that you're scrambling. All right, in and out of the pan as quick as possible so they stay nice and creamy. All right, be safe, guys. Keep cooking and keep cooking good.